Awesome. Okay, good. That makes me happy. I'm just gonna check. Hi, everyone. Let me make sure my Zoom isn't lying to me about us being live. It's just telling me it can't connect. So I'm just gonna check on our design theory page. It says we're live. Hi, happy Thursday, Theory Thursday. I am here. This is Nicole Purpelon with JP Design Theory, and I am so excited tonight, you all. You know, at Theory Thursdays, we like to present different ways to help you grow your business, especially as solopreneurs. We're coming up on the holiday season, and this Monday during my Hero Academy office hours, I was chatting with Angelique, who is with us, um, and we were talking about virtual assistants. Angelique and Lora, they run a podcast, they empower women, they help women with their businesses. They are phenomenal. They are in our Hero Academy group as well. And I asked them to come here to talk to us about what they're doing with virtual assistants. This is really important. If you are a solopreneur and you have maybe a little bit too much work on your hands, you need to be tapping into this Theory Thursday. So welcome, Angelique. Welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for
Hello.
Thank
being here.
you.
Thank you for
I would
having
Thank
me.
like for you
you.
guys to introduce yourselves, and then we'll talk about what I asked you to come on for.
Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah.
Angelique with Lady Powerhouse Solutions. We do project and event management for women on fire who are out there lighting up the world with their passion and their drive, and we help them achieve their mission in the most authentic way possible.
I
Yes.
love it.
And I am Laura. I'm owner of ODAA or ODA. So Other Duties as Assigned was a corporate nickname and is now the name of the agency. And we help small businesses to get all the things done behind the scenes, project management and virtual assistants that are here to help out so that your chaos in your business can be tamed.
I love
And we
it.
do similar things. So
Yeah.
I love that name too, Oda. Okay. So Angelique, you and I were on Monday, and we usually catch up, chat about our businesses, chat about life. And you started telling me about this, I believe it was an 8-week internship program that you do with virtual assistants.
Yeah.
Please break that down. What exactly are you guys doing?
Okay. All right. So I started my business back in 2019, and as we all know, COVID hit shortly thereafter, and I got very busy very quickly. Thank you. I mean, like, I'm grateful. The timing was perfect. Um, and I knew my goal was always to hire a team, so I started hiring. I started hiring to fill the gap, right? And I had an experience where someone had said they could do something, and I put them on the job with a client and set the deadline. And I said, all right, have at it. Let me know if you have any questions. A day before the deliverable was due, they messaged and said, I can't figure this out. Sorry.
Hmm.
And so I'm scrambling at the last minute to learn something and get it done for the client. And I won't lie to the client. I was transparent. I asked, can I have a little bit more time? We had something come up and it's not done, you know. I did not retain that client thereafter. So, it was a lesson learned. And that's where the beginnings of the internship program came from. It was also a combination with a couple of other things that I was doing that, it was like the perfect storm. So I started doing some research. How are other VA agencies getting good people? How are other entrepreneurs getting good people? And what I found was that, especially one particular female entrepreneur that I really, really enjoyed her content and her, what she does.
Mhm.
I noticed that she was doing an internship program. So I started digging into it. And bottom line is, colleges have been doing this for like decades, right? Unpaid internship programs. Or if they are paid, they're usually grant based, short term type things, which we've also participated in. Lora had a connection and connected us with a grant-based program so that they paid them during the internship so that they could gain the experience. But
Right.
Yes.
eventually that's what it came to was, all right, I think this is amount of time. Some internships in colleges are 12, 16 weeks, like a full semester, right? So I was like, well, I think 60 days is enough time for me to get a feel for a potential subcontractor or contractor to
Mhm.
figure out what are your strengths, weaknesses, who can I best, how do I best match you up with a client? Um, and so that's where it came. That's how it came to be. It has definitely evolved a little bit
Yeah.
over the years, especially this year.
Mhm.
Now we're doing Filipino VAs, which is something that another fellow female entrepreneur was doing and talking about it, but I didn't know how to get started. I'm like, where do I
Right.
find these
Right.
people?
I
Um,
know on Monday when we were talking about it, that is a question, the first question I usually get from clients or, other solopreneurs is like, where do you find your VAs? And
Yeah.
so when we were talking about it on Monday, you were like, you need to talk to Laura about this. Like, so
so
Laura,
right,
like,
but
break it down,
and
break it
right
Right.
all the way
before
down.
we
So,
came on this call,
right.
I was
Yeah,
like, hey, Laura, heads up. This is what she's going to ask you.
And then I threw her for a loop. So I'm going to throw you all for a loop here on this.
go for
So
it.
I was also, when I first started in 2021, I was doing internships. And then I stopped doing the internship. There was a struggle there. A lot of people weren't really keen on it. Building the team was more difficult. So I took a little bit of a different route for a while
Yeah,
in building the team. And it was more people once I'd gotten to know them and had conversations, then I brought them in, but it was always a trial period. When Angelique and I were talking at the beginning of the summer, I was like, I really want to change up the model because I think with the target audience that we both have, it would be good for us to find a way to have some cost-effective savings. So there's, the choice for an all US based VA team. And there's
yeah,
also now the choice for the Filipino US hybrid team, but I had told her, I was like, oh gosh, I don't necessarily have the time for the internship. And that's how she was like, I will intern them, we'll make sure. And then once she's interned them, then I know they've been interned. I can trust that I can put them with clients as well. So they now have an option for both of our businesses to have work with clients and things like that after they do the internship. But I did throw for a loop. So our first gal that we got from the Philippines
mhm,
was a referral to me. An amazing woman, like she was great and great on paper and all the things. And I had an interview with her
mhm.
and we hired her. She started the internship, and then about a week in, which I didn't tell Angelique because I was like, okay, she's doing good. But about a week in, I realized I'd screwed up. She was somebody who had reached out to me. Kate was someone who had reached out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
And she had a great resume. It was amazing. But the other girl, Kate, that was referred to me
Both
had
Kate.
not yet set up a meeting. Yes, both Kates had not yet set up a meeting, and I didn't know. So Kate was on my schedule. I was like, oh,
mhm,
good, the referral. We're going to do this. She seemed great. We brought her in. Turns
yeah,
out that was not the right one. So she divinely has been amazing and wonderful,
wow,
but she was not the initial referral to me.
yeah,
But she was someone who had reached out to me on LinkedIn and had said, like, I am a VA now, and I'm just looking to reach out in the US to see if, you had any needs.
got it.
So I chalk it up to divine timing. She has been amazing. And because she was doing so good, she's who we then reached out to um, as we needed to add more people. So she brought in someone else who was absolutely amazing. She immediately started with clients because we had an immediate need. And so she's interning, but she was also working with a client. And then I got somebody for Go High Level, and I was like, I need a Go High Level person. Who do you got, Kate? And she brought us her sister, who also was absolutely fantastic with this client. Like, it just has been really wonderful. And what I have come to find out is that, yes, they are all college educated. Yes, they have skill sets. There are communication things that we deal with, just kind of because things are a little bit different,
Mhm.
culturally.
Yeah.
But what I have come to find out is that, yes, the most educated, yes, with the best skills and all the things, sometimes don't perform nearly as well as people we just have a gut feeling for. I was
Mm.
a team developer in corporate, so my
Yeah.
teams had to be hired, and it was a lot of times that gut feeling, having that conversation. Are they communicating? Are they okay with my personality? I can be a lot.
Right. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
how are you going to do with someone like me? Because most of my clients will be somewhat like me, most likely, or maybe a little bit more calm. But
yeah.
it was really just that. And there are people on the list that I love, other interns I had from before that are US based, where we really did do work together before they came into work with clients, and they were amazing. Some not so much, and they didn't get client work. It was okay. I tried you out here, and I love that you're doing what you're doing, but for my clients, this isn't going to work. And I've had the same experiences where, some things have failed and I've lost clients because of it.
Yeah.
We do mentor. We try really hard when they're struggling to give them that opportunity, have those extra meetings. What is it you're needing? Where are we falling short for you? And where are you falling short for us? And how can we fix that? So they're given several opportunities if it's not working. And then eventually, you kind of, as a business owner, have to come to I really like who you are as a person. I brought you in, but as a VA, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And, we've both come to those kinds of conclusions in our businesses and as our teams. But for me,
I
it's
love
about
this.
communication and how we feel together. So yeah, it is looking for good people on paper as well. But it also has to come down to, do we mesh?
Yeah.
Because if we can't work together, I'm sure you're an amazing person, but that's not going to work in our
Yeah.
business.
Exactly. I love that you mentioned that someone had reached out to you from LinkedIn. I shared a post, our VA, Deanna, she's been with us going on 3 years, and we connected with her because she sent a message. She just sent me a message out of the blue. And so I think one of the key things for some of our solopreneurs out there who are needing additional help, don't know where to start, you might be getting solicited in your DMs, to take that chance. Now, when someone gets solicited in their
Mm.
DMs from a VA, when you say look good on paper, before I even respond to them, or maybe if I do respond and ask for their resume or references, what should we be looking for?
Hmm. My first question always is to them is, how did you find me and what do you know about me? So if they've
Ooh.
done their research, it's important. Kate had done her research. She had kind of looked into the business. She found me in other places to see if she could find much, which is hard because, as Angelique will tell you, I am social media averse. So to find a whole lot of information about me, not super simple. Which doesn't make sense. I'm a business owner. I'm trying to, get clients, and but I do a lot more on referrals.
Yeah.
But she had found the information, and she said in the outreach, I saw this, this is what's going on, which probably should have been my hint that she wasn't the referral. But I wasn't thinking about it, I guess. So I was like, oh,
I
she found
love
me,
that. I love
so,
that.
but,
Yeah, how
but
did you
yeah.
find me and what do you know about me?
Mhm.
So, okay, that's a great like initial to get the conversation going. Now, I know most entrepreneurs are not going to do like, I'm going to do an 8-week program, something as built out as what you and Angelique have done. But Angelique, what are some of the key things that you're like, this has to be in this program before a person can actually start doing work that either we deliver to a client or work for us? Like, what are the most important things that I need to make sure my VA knows?
Mm.
Number one, I don't care what your skill set is. Are you teachable? Because I can teach you a skill, but I can't teach you attitude. If you
Mhm.
have a I will figure it out attitude, awesome. And number two, communication. Like they have to be able to communicate and to receive feedback in a way that they don't get immediately offended because, you know, you were, mentoring them.
Right.
that's
Right.
that's what you're here for. Let's hope. Um, and so really those are the things I'm looking for. If they have a skill set, fantastic. Um, that's especially important when we're looking at a specialized skill set like Go High Level specifically,
Yeah.
or Kartra, or one of the myriad of things that are
Yeah.
out there. That's often where we'll look. But again, that's teachable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
skill you can learn. I think many times we'll get somebody who come in, at least I have, and they're interested in becoming a subcontractor. Well,
Mm.
you don't become a subcontractor with my team without doing an internship. I simply don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, that was a little bit more difficult than it is now. But you learn the lessons and you see the value in it. Most of the time, though, they understand the value, that it isn't just about me getting free work.
Right.
Mhm.
In fact, it's not about that at all. I just freaking love helping women gain the
Yeah.
experience and the confidence that they need to move forward in whatever their goals are. And
Yeah.
it will, yes, it will help me in my business. Let's hope that you do something right that benefits me. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm meeting with them weekly, answering questions, teaching them whatever it is they need to know. If they need to know anything, most of the time they
Yeah.
do, and mentoring them along the way, showing them best practices that have worked well in my business. This is all stuff they can carry on with them.
Mhm.
Right.
And so it's an
Well, and
exchange
it's
of value.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think part of the understanding is we say, and I am the same way. They come in, they intern with Angelique before they come to work with us. And though it is an 8-week program, we do sometimes
Right.
assign them to clients early, especially if there's a need that happens and hits before that. But they complete their internship in that process. And if we're struggling with them being with the client before the internship is done, we pull them back. Again,
Right. You're
we're
not part of the
registering
program.
that. Yeah. And the truth is that Angelique and I have also done free work.
Yeah.
So in building our business, in getting clients. There are clients we've
Mhm.
bartered with, there's things we've done in the beginning. So it's not,
Yes.
again, what she said, we're not trying to get something for free. We're trying to really ensure that you coming in and working with our clients, it's huge. Because if you screw up big, you might not have any work with us anymore, but we also don't have a client. Like that's a loss for us in a bigger way. That's our reputation, that's our business. There's a lot more that goes into that if you screw something up for somebody else's business. So there's a respect factor there as well, where it's
And
you're coming into our business to work and you might be growing your own as well.
Yes.
But if somebody comes in and says, oh, well, they did work for you, we want to be able to give a good report of what you did for us. We don't want to have to be like, oh, it cost me a client, which I don't like talking bad about anybody in business. But sometimes there are moments when you're like, I just kind of want to give you a real review and just make sure that you might want to stay on them with about this. So there's a reality there and how we're protecting each other's businesses as well. So
yeah, and there are additional aspects to it. We always tell them it's unpaid, but if you knock it out of the park at week 4, and I trust you. I think you're proving yourself trustworthy with a client. I will put you with a client and pay you. Um, I don't get free client work out of it. These people, the interns, are only working within our businesses. They're not working for our clients. The
Our
other
client.
thing is,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
they get to decide when they start, how much
Mhm.
they work, and what they want to do. I don't want you coming into it and me going, okay, I need you to do this, this, and this. No, we talk about what is it you want more experience in? What is it you want to learn?
Yeah.
And if they come back with, I don't know, I've got a laundry list, honey, of things that I need done. Does any of this sound good to you? And
Yeah.
we always tell them, if after a week or 2 or 3, you're like, I absolutely hate this, can we move on to something else? Yes, we absolutely can, because I want them to get value out of it. I want them to feel that it's reciprocal and exchange, and it's even and fair, and not, I definitely don't want anybody feeling used. I want them to stick around and help, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So one of the
absolutely.
things that we've talked about is, people's hesitancy for thinking that maybe this is unpaid labor. In terms of the amount of people that you have recruited, women that you have put through this internship program, what do you see as the buy-in? Like what is the thing that really brings them to the table that makes them feel like this is worthwhile? And how many, like, what's the ratio of people who are like, no, thank you, and people who are like, yes? Because what I'm thinking about all of these entrepreneurs who have very specific processes. They're using certain tools in their business and they need help. And if they were able to, obviously maybe not an 8-week program, but say, hey, I'm going to give you a week of training on this product, this tool set, to see if we should work together in the future, or the second week. But when we're finished, you're going to know how to do this. Is that the big draw, or is the big draw, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, like, from their perspective, what have you seen as their most valuable portion of this project, this
Yeah.
program?
The majority of people that interview do go into an internship program. There are a few that um, don't, don't find it, don't see the benefit or value of it, and that's fine. Um, but what I do find funny is when they say, "Oh, I'm not interested in your internship, but if you need any help." Wait, did you not hear part of the conversation, which was, you don't work on my team unless
Hmm.
you intern. And this is
Yeah.
what I tell them: the more hours you can commit and give in a week or a month or whatever, and I don't care when you work them, it's your schedule, not mine, the sooner I'm going to see your value and what you can do, and the sooner I can put you to work with a paying client.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think the number one draw is women are very interested in getting additional experience, getting expertise, and gaining that confidence without
Hmm.
having to pay for another course or
Right.
coach. Come
Right.
on
Yeah.
now. This is
Right.
Yeah.
free coaching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is free
But time
coaching.
is valuable. And I think part of it is understanding that as well, is that we are giving the time for the internship. We're not asking for a pay-in.
Yeah.
So there's an exchange there. Our
And that's
time
been
is
a
so
question.
valuable.
That's been a question. How much do I have to pay you? And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No, you're not paying me,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um,
What's the ratio of people maybe who go through the program and maybe they go through the program, but they don't continue to work with you, but they've gotten the benefit of the internship? How has that
yeah.
gone?
Um, so in the beginning, I would say that 50% of them actually made it all the way through the internship. But I do believe that was in part due to, COVID and many other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
As time has gone on in the last year, I would say that the majority of them will finish. Some of them will say, I only want to work with you. I don't want to work with anyone else, because
Mhm.
they either don't have the bandwidth, or they just really like working with me. um,
Yeah.
Without tooting my own horn, I am going to toot my own horn. And I think the other part of it, I think the other draw that gets them here and keeps them here is that we provide paying work,
Right.
Mhm.
and fairly consistently. And we have a philosophy that, we're not, uh, slave drivers. We're not, setting a schedule for you. you're still a contractor. And as long as we keep the communication open, you know, we don't have any real issues.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that the attrition rate has been much lower than in the past. But I think part of that is too that our gig economy, our the great resignation, all of those
Yeah.
things, we're on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
on the other side of that. And it was very new, I think, when this all started and unknown. And now things are a little bit more, this internship idea is a little bit more palatable and acceptable and more mainstream.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
think for us, people coming in and wanting to stay with us is one, if they don't want to build their own business and there's still work here, that's a draw. If they
Yeah.
are building their own business, they get an actual idea of structure if they weren't quite sure how to organize their own. So you're still getting it while working with people. We're also both really big on empowering our people. So we don't just want them to check off boxes. We want them to think ahead. We're into critical thinking and problem solving, and they have a voice. We are not a company, neither one of us are companies that are stay in your lane and stay in your pay grade people. We come from those atmospheres. We will never have that in our business. And I think that's also a big draw for women, especially to be like, I have a place here because I have a voice here. Our clients listen to them. We listen to them. We hear what they're saying, especially if they're an expert in a skill set working with a client where we may not know so much about.
Yeah.
Then we really need you to empower yourself to speak up and say what's needed. Or, you know, we've got this big vision and they go, yeah, no, that's not happening. Like,
Yeah.
your big vision is not possible. We got to like break it into different things and we can maybe do this. And then they have ideas and they start to problem solve. So I think that's another big draw is if people want something new now, and we are also offering that. It's big for us to have in our business. Our clients are all we make sure our clients are kind of also in that same mindset of your VAs have worth, your project managers have worth, I have worth as the CEO.
Yeah.
We are all at the same table. We're all working together to make your business better. So nobody has a stay in your lane attitude when it
Yeah.
comes to that. And hence why Angelique said, are you coachable? Because I need to be coached as a CEO. My VAs teach me things all the time. And
Word.
that's the thing, is that if they're teaching me and I'm teaching them and we're all working together, our clients get the best possible service.
Yeah. They get the best outcomes. I love it. I have one more question. One thing I hear a lot when talking about hiring VAs that do not reside in the US or Canada, I hear people ask questions regarding security, theft of accounts, and trust. What are some of the things that you all do to, mitigate any risk in that space?
Yeah. Um, for us, our project managers are US based. So if we're dealing with someone in financials and they need that, or if there's a security feeling,
Mhm.
we are US based if that helps them out. But the truth of the matter is, no matter where you go, you take a risk. And that can be very difficult for anybody, but that for any business. If you're going to hire someone, you take a risk. And again, that's where that gut feeling comes in of, is this person going to do damage? And listening to your instinct with that is huge.
Yeah.
We have a couple clients who have trust issues because of past problems.
Yes.
And so we are having to build trust. So we're just here. There's no judgment. We're working through it with them. Like, we are here. When they're
Yeah.
not willing to do something, then we just remind them, like, without a certain amount of access, it limits what we can do, but we're very well
Yeah.
aware of how you feel. So as we build trust, they'll figure it out with us. But even the same, anytime you hire, there is a risk. You can mitigate it, but you can't get rid of the risk. There's never
Right.
a zero risk in that. And it
And
doesn't matter if it's US or overseas.
right.
So,
That's it. And
Absolutely.
that's what I was going to say. We use the same processes, whether they're US based or Filipino based
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
we want everyone secure no matter where they are.
Absolutely.
So we use, password vaults like LastPass. We,
LastPass, yes.
we use all of the two-factor authentication. We don't
Yeah.
remove those just because it's inconvenient. You just learn to work around it, work with people, communicate. Oh, there's that word again.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So
I
I
tell
mean,
And
people
we
that
all
that should
sign
be.
contracts. So
Yeah.
NDAs, contracts, things in
Yes.
place. Again, there's a way to cover you. It covers your VAs. It covers your clients. It involves all of it. And again, you can't get rid of the risk, but it does definitely lower the risk when you have all
Absolutely.
those things in place.
yeah.
And
Or
you can run background checks on people too. I mean, if I've had clients who are like, "Do you mind if we do a background check on your VAs?" Absolutely. If that's what you need us to do, I have no problem with that. If that's for your safe feeling, we're good, you know?
absolutely.
And usually in the financial world, that's a big thing, if there's somebody's
Yeah.
dealing with finances in any
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that warms my cybersecurity heart. So to hear, when people say we're using two-factor authentication, which is a necessity, when people are using those password vaults, another, and all of these things, some of these things can require, they definitely require a time investment, but some of them can also require a financial investment to bring someone on to your team safely. Whether you're talking about hiring a VA or hiring another employee, but that should not keep you from getting the assistance that you need. I tell clients all the time, if you're not in control of your own email accounts, I prefer you do it on your own email account. Create an email account for that new person that's on your domain. And if you don't have your own domain and maybe you don't have your own website, create your own Gmail account for that person that you have the password to. And then you set up your two-factor authentication and you give them access to it. And then everything that you provide access to them is through that account that you manage. So then if something goes wrong with the relationship, they move on, etc., you still have access to that account that has access to all of the other accounts. We do not recommend sharing your password. Learn how to use these
Yes.
tools. I mean, the nightmares that I've heard about people sharing MailChimp passwords or social media account passwords. There are tools for you to add a new user, add a user to
Yes.
your Canva, add
Yes.
a user to your account the right way so that you're not exposing yourself unnecessarily to these risks. Once you do that, I feel like the world opens up in terms of what you're able to do working with other people. And to your point, Laura, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where they reside, as long as you're following standard safety protocols, there's always going to be a risk, but you can feel safer about,
Yeah.
interacting with people no matter where they are. So I love that. Okay, I'm gonna let you ladies go, but if someone needs a virtual assistance this holiday season, they need help with their business, you tell me, how do they get in contact with you? What are you offering? Tell us all the things before we let you go this evening.
Um, well,
All right.
Angelique, go ahead.
I'm going to say this. The best way to get a hold of us is ftcpodcast.com. And then there's links to both Laura and our
I'll put this
websites.
perfect.
So
I'm gonna put
you
that in the
just go to the ftcpodcast.com, scroll to the bottom, and then click on Laura and and it will take you to our individual websites where you can learn more about us and how to
Yeah.
schedule a free consultation.
I
Yeah.
love it. And
And
just
so
recap.
everybody's aware we're not competitive. So Angelique and I are more interested in who get help, but get the good help. So if someone's like, do you go to Laura? Do you go to Angelique? What do you do? Angelique and I are collaborators. We are not compete. So we are
I
not worried about where. So don't let that be a factor of who. Um, because that doesn't matter. We just want you to have good help. So wherever you click, wherever you go, whoever you meet with, whatever you do, just get the help you need so that it's good people's is what we're always looking for. So
I love it. I am putting it in the comments of this video. And of course,
Yeah.
if you're in our Hero Academy, you can literally just go to chats and look for either one of them, Angelique or Lora, and slide into their DMs to reach out. But thank you all so much for talking through this. I love what you're doing with
Yeah.
this program, because what I love the most about it is that you have a program that's outlined. It's not just come work with me for 8 weeks and then I'll see if I'll hire you. It's a program where you come learn the skills that you're going to need to be successful working with me, to be successful working with other clients, or to go off and start your own virtual assistants services elsewhere.
Yeah.
That to me is just amazing. While at the
Yeah.
same time, you're identifying the people who are going to be the right fit for your clients and for your company. I love the concept. I've been so excited about it all week. So I'm very thankful for your time, and I know I'm going to see you ladies in school. Uh, Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have any last things you want to share. If not, we'll hop off. But yeah,
No,
thank you for being
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
no, thank you for
I think
having us. It's been
that,
great.
yes, it's been
Appreciate it.
wonderful. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Yvonne.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
guys.
Bye.